Hi guys, I am so happy you've joined me today. Welcome. For those of you who are new here, my name is ReeRee, and this is ReeReeSaves, where I'm on a journey with my finances and life to overcome trauma spending. Today's topic is how I manage my budget, and I manage my budget with a hybrid cash system. So the way I do this is I have two categories. So the first category is fixed categories or fixed amounts each month, where they're the same amount each month. So they're generally bills or even subscriptions. And most of the time, they have auto pay on. So they're auto drafted from my bank account. So I don't even really have to worry about paying them. They just come out. The second category is the flex categories. And these are all the categories that change amounts every month. And the flex categories are the ones I'm focusing on trying to influence and control. Let's just go a little more into the flex categories. So my categories are monthly. So these are the items that change month to month, and they're a little bit more seasonal, I guess. So it might be Christmas or another holiday. It might be birthdays. It could be planned trips, like a hiking trip or a vacation. Next, we have pet. I do have a sweet cat named Mercedes. And this is things like food and other supplies that you need to take care of a pet. Then we have supplements. And supplements is kind of a broad category. It's vitamins and other medications like allergy medication that I need each month. Then we have outing. And this is when I take my nieces or nephews on an outing. So it's a fun activity that I do with them. Okay, let's make a little more space. I'm going to scroll up. Next, we have clothing. Now, I don't put money in clothing each month, but if I do spend money on clothing, it's generally for work clothing or exercise clothing, and it is put in as I need new things. Then there's personal care. Personal care is things like haircuts. Yeah, basically for me, it's just haircuts. For other people, it might include other things like getting your nails done or other things like that where you take care of yourself. Then we have fun. Fun is just basically my blow category, but it's for things that I enjoy and I might not normally do if I didn't have money. So it's like granting myself permission for a certain amount of money to spend it on whatever makes me happy. Then we have groceries, very self-explanatory. I spend a lot of money on groceries because I love nice food. Then we have eating out, again, self-explanatory. This one I try to limit as it can be very expensive. And then we have gas. And I spend a lot of money on gas because I commute to and from work, and I commute about 40 minutes to an hour one way to work each time I go, and I have to go 3 times a week. All right, so these are my categories, and each one of these is something that changes each month. And I'm trying to stay to a certain budget, but what I do with these categories to try and visualize and control them is now I do a cash envelope system. So what I do is every paycheck, which I get paid twice a month, I split my budget for each one of these categories into two, one for each week, roughly, right? Because there's roughly 4 weeks in a month. And then I stuff 1 week at a time into the envelopes in my wallet. And that way, when I'm out spending money, it is very visual and physical to see my money and to see it going down and to see how much I have left. And if I borrow or take from another category, say this week I spent $56 on groceries instead of 50, well, that $6 had to come from somewhere. So I pulled it out of eating out. And so it's very visual and it's a very easy to understand system of, yes, If I spend more money than I put in that category, it has to come from somewhere. Other things I do with this system is change. What do I do with my change? All of my change is saved and turned into $5 bills. And then at the end of the month, all this money is going to be placed roughly 50-50 percentage into fun things like vacation or new tennis shoes, and the other half goes into serious things like debt or emergency savings. All right, so that is how I do my budget. Now we're going to jump to another video segment, and I'm going to show you actually splitting up the money, how I stuff my wallet, and that sort of thing. Just to introduce you, this is my little wallet. I found this for $2, $1.99 at a thrift store. I did have to check quite a few thrift stores in order to find it, but it has space for cards and my ID. And then I bought these off Etsy. I'll add the link below. But these are little envelopes where you put your money that goes into each category. And my categories that I've picked are gas, and just to clarify, these are my flex categories. Groceries, eating out, pet, I do have a cat, clothing, monthly, which is like flex things that come up in a month like birthdays or a hiking trip or whatever, fun, and this is kind of like my blow category. This is things that I'm allowed to spend however I want. Outing, these are outings I take my nieces and nephews on. And then this one called Back to Bank is where I put money if I spent it on my card but my budget is in cash. I put the cash in this envelope and then deposit it back in the bank to balance it out. Then I have all my change from every transaction goes in here, and I save it and turn it into dollars at the bank, and then at the end of the month I put it in my savings, which I have a pretty exciting way to do that. I'll explain that in a little bit. But this month, as I explained earlier in the video, I split my budgets into 4 and only put a week's worth of money into each category. So from the bank, I wrote down what I needed in each denomination in order to have the right amount to split it into each category, but also to split each category into 2. Because just to clarify, I get paid twice monthly, and that means I take out half of the money I get for my flex categories every month, and then I split that into 2 weeks. So that's what this calculation was here. I will admit I had to do this 3 times to get the numbers to match up. So it is, a little fiddly, but what I do is for each budget category, like say groceries had 100 for the next 2 weeks, I said, okay, in order to split that in 2, I need $50. So I need 2 20s and a 10 twice. So I need 4 20s and 2 10s. And I did that for each category. By the way, I'm drinking my key lime LaCroix, I think is how you say it, LaCroix. Anyways, it's a sparkling water. I like it. So let's split this up. So first, this is my income binder. I also bought this off Etsy. I'll link it below. And I kind of spent a little more than I should. But let's first split the 2 weeks of income into two. So there's $320. So if I do, let's move this to the side, 2 categories, or two piles, and then each one gets $1 in quarters. So for week 4, I'm going to stuff 1 pile into week 4, and that will be saved for the next week. That way, the whole idea behind this is so that you can't like blow through your budget at the beginning of each paycheck or each time you get money. So that will be saved, and we'll set this aside. And then this money will go into the category. So let's fill that out. So gas gets $37.50. So we'll do a 20, a 10, and 2 quarters. No wait, 37. 30, a 5, and 2 ones. Okay, there we go. 37, so let's count that out. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 50. And we'll put that in the envelope. And I will admit, these envelopes came with these cute little budget sheets, but I don't really use them, so it is what it is. Alright, there's gas. Next category is groceries. Groceries is getting $50. That's pretty easy. So we've got 20, 40, and 50. Okay. Eating out. Eating out is getting $25. Oops, I think I just closed that. Okay, so 25. So 20 and 5. There's eating out. Pet is getting $10. So just a 10. Okay, clothing's getting nothing this time. Monthly is getting nothing this time. I do have a hike coming up, but that's not till week 4, so that'll happen then. Alright, fun is getting $17.50. So it's 10, 15, 16, 17, and 50 cents. And I have an extra 20. Why do I have an extra 20? Oh, I think this goes in fun for next month. I mean next week, week 4. This does. So I'm going to go ahead and stash that in week 4 because I withdrew it all at once, but I don't need it till week 4. So I'll stuff that in week 4. There we go. Alright. So that's this week's stuffed. And that's how I do it. And then every time I need to use money, I pull it out and I just use it. I don't write it down. And if I need to grab from another category because I want to eat out again and it's a little low, I could grab from groceries or fun and just use it. Yeah. And just use it. So I'll close this up and I will put it in my purse and it will be ready to go. Alright, let me explain this little envelope. So I have given myself permission for savings that anything I make over my initial paycheck, so anything I make on my side hustles, selling things, I put in this envelope. And as soon as I get enough, I turn it into 5s. So you can see this envelope is full of 5s and some change.
And then at the end of the month, I will roll a die. It will tell me what of 6 categories that savings will go into. And I'm still kind of finalizing that, but right now it's a vacation, um, a fun outing, and tennis shoes, because I like nice tennis shoes. Those are the 3 like fun ones. And then the other 3 are going to be debt related. So we'll have an extra debt payment, we'll have an emergency fund, and then the last one will be maybe a month ahead. I'm still finalizing the last one, but it'll be something related to like debt or savings or like emergency savings or something serious, not fun, if that makes sense. So I'm going to film that at the end of the month when I have all my 5s put together, and I will bring you along for that.
Thanks so much for joining me today, friend. I really enjoyed our time together. I want you to know that you are of worth, that you are wanted, and that you are my friend. Talk to you next time. Bye.